Welcome to AI to Z, your gateway to the world of STEM and the careers shaping its future. Hosted by Airswift's Chief Revenue Officer, Anna Frazzetto, we delve into artificial intelligence, health tech, and more. With insights from industry leaders, Anna not only demystifies STEM, but also highlights the exciting career paths within. Whether you're an enthusiast, a professional, or considering a STEM career, tune in and journey with us into the future.
Well, hi, Lauren. Thank you so much for being here today. So how do I summarize Lauren? I love what you have, seriously, what you have written in your LinkedIn, the About section, and you say, staffing industry powerhouse, workforce technology wing, change management mastermind, fierce female leader champion, and professional storyteller. I think that is a wonderful summary and a great way to capture all that you do, Lauren.
Well, thank you so much. A, thank you so much for having me. It's so wonderful to see your beautiful face. B, I could never say those nice things about me, so I paid someone to say those nice things about me. So thank you, Stephanie, over at ClearEdge, for making me sound so much cooler than I am.
Well, I think it's 100% accurate all the way around. Lauren, when I first started talking to you about, doing the podcast, the one thing that actually we were on another podcast together,
Yes.
and we started talking about, kind of technology overload. So we're at the day and age where there's so much technology. And I think what happens is a lot of times it's difficult for individuals, organizations to really absorb what all this technology is doing. And we started talking about the importance of technology road mapping. So maybe you could share a little bit of, kind of your guidance of how to approach it.
Yeah, I think, in our industry in particular, it's so easy to get the shiny object syndrome, where somebody else may have something and, you feel compelled, you feel required to do those things. And, I've said this for a long time, innovation can come in the shape of things that don't include technology, right? It can be a new business process. It can be a new org structure. Innovation can come in meaningful ways. And I think, especially now in the world of generative AI, which I know we're going to get into, it is just super easy to get consumed by all the noisiness out there. And so road mapping is a key part of not eating the whole elephant, of having a strategic outlined plan to help you get to where you want to go. And when we lose sight of the end in mind, I think that's when agencies start grasping at straws to create, quote unquote, innovation. And that's where I think it gets twisted, and we end up with tech debt, and we end up with duplicativeness, and it just becomes this sort of domino effect once you lose track of, your sort of North Star.
Right. And that's a great point. I think it's a little bit of hit the pause button, right? And figure out what
Take
you
me.
need to do.
Take me.
Exactly. So let's talk about AI, because you kind of referred to generative AI. And of course, there's two camps out there, right? There's the pro AI camp, and then, of course, there's the world is ending because AI is out there and it's going to take over, and we're all going to be listening to robots for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, kind of the pros and cons of what you're seeing out there.
Oh my goodness. I love the Chicken Littles. The sky is falling. They said that about email. They've said it about the internet. I mean, my goodness, there, are the doomsdayers, I think, no matter what we do, really, no matter what happens. And I've been quoted as saying this, at Gigi, on many podcasts. AI won't replace you, but someone that knows how to use AI will, right? And I think my philosophy of technology, particularly in our industry, this is a human industry, and technology should be enablement, not replacement. I say that time and time again, and that's inclusive of AI. AI can only take you so far. It is still AI has no feeling, right? There is no interpreting data. It is simply using mathematics to give you the most likely outcome. And it has no insights into language. It has no insights into feelings or empathy. And those are the things that create such a powerful connection in our industry. And so when you've got the doomsdayers out there saying, AI is going to take so many jobs and displacement and what have you, that fear is coming from not understanding, in my opinion. And I think the more you understand it, the more you'll learn how to leverage it to help enhance what you already do.
Yeah, and I think it's not only just not understanding it, I think it's fear of change. There are people out there that just any change is going to create them to get a little unraveled. I think the key element is the fact that it is a tool, right? And that's the way it should be used as a tool to help you and make you more productive in your work. So let's talk a little bit about security risk, right, for organizations, especially. I mean, I recall being, working for an organization where they said, we cannot use social media to be able to recruit, for talent. We're not going to open the firewall. All right. It was like amazing.
I remember.
And now about it. Oh my goodness. Instagram, Facebook, like utilizing all these platforms, TikTok, to be able to recruit great talent. And, it's like there's a paradigm shift and you start getting used to it. But what is some of the security risk exposure that organizations need to kind of be aware of?
I mean, AI is not helping from a security perspective, right? You've got the bad actors in there forcing AI to help, tear down certain code and tear down certain firewalls, and so with great power comes great responsibility. And I think now more than ever, having been hacked, I talked about this on our experience on the You and the Experience podcast. As a small organization, you have to realize where these bad actors are sort of shopping from. So happens in my case, they were shopping from the incorporation database, like so when you incorporate. And so I think it's staying current on where the bad actors are living and where they're shopping. B, it is putting resources behind this. And there are too many small and mid-sized agencies that really underestimate the power of ransomware. We have a plastic surgeon right here in our own backyard that we're dear friends with, who has $100,000 price tag on all of their PII, their patient PII, and working with attorneys and all of that to try and remedy that. We have a ton of PII. We have a ton of customer information. We have to be careful, and we have a responsibility to those that we serve to do that. And I think very often, particularly small firms think, oh, it's not going to be me. And the bad actors don't care who you are, where you came from. They just want it to be easy to get in and get the information and then hold it over your head, particularly for a potential price tag. And so you just cannot underestimate it, and you must put resources behind it. And this is where we do a lot of counseling on. This is one thing that you can outsource. Like there are some things that you should outsource and some things that you can outsource and some things that you really shouldn't. I'm not a huge fan of outsourcing like your employee, care programs. That should be something that's really sticky and cultural. But I do think that, cybersecurity is one of those things that you can get a professional firm to come in and help you take the necessary precautions. That's one of those things that you can outsource, but you've got to do it. And I see just way too much lackadaisical sort of behavior around this. I don't know if you agree.
I do agree. It's interesting. I worked at one organization that was looking to try to get into the cybersecurity space. And my concern with that was exactly what you just said. It should not be an outsourced function. You can definitely get expertise to kind of come in and help you set it up, but then the ownership of whatever needs to take place should be internal. So I agree 100% with that. So now let me ask a question. As a small business owner, like when you're starting like day one versus, 3 years into the process, how do you do that? Because they're high ticket individuals that do cybersecurity. So how do you kind of manage that?
Well, so it's much like a publicist, right? You can use a publicist in fits and spurts because publicists tend to be really, really high dollar people, right? And a publicist or a PR rep, those are high dollar type of individuals, but you can use them in sprints. You don't have to sign them on for a year endeavor. You can have them, come in and get out. And there are sort of fractional security people that are poised to do just that. Come in, help you with your infrastructure, help you get set up, and then leave you on your merry way. But I think that you must have counsel around security. The reason that I was hacked was simply because of a GoDaddy breach, right? And we hear all about GoDaddy breaches, right? Poor GoDaddy. But I was very fortunate, and then none of my customers' PII or anything like that was taken because we caught it very quickly. So if something does happen, the reaction time, this is not something that you can just kind of sit back on your laurels and go, oh goodness, we were hacked. I responded within minutes. I had, I'm very fortunate to be well connected, and I had an expert on the phone immediately. I knew, a couple people to help. And so if something does happen, your reaction time can help mitigate a ton of potential additional failure.
Right. That's great advice, Lauren. And I think, sometimes the smaller entrepreneurial organizations feel overwhelmed and think that, oh my goodness, I'm just going to have to figure it out on my own. But that's a great point. You can have people just kind of come in and out as needed. I know we were talking about AI and, kind of being a tool and helping. There's a lot of discussion out there in regards to the concern around the human element. Are we getting too automated? And do you agree? How do we maintain the human element, especially in the staffing industry?
Sure. I was on a panel at Staffing World. We were talking about this in the sales, I actually did a sales panel, right? And part of one of the discussion points was around AI. Again, I think where we see bad examples of AI implementation is where individuals are using it as a replacement. And I don't know about you, but my LinkedIn inbox is obnoxiously full of automated AI, created messages that I just delete. So I use AI to help me get started. So, we are a tech-enabled consulting company, and I think we leverage over a dozen AI tools. And I don't know that you would ever know that if you saw my messaging externally or if you got an email from me. I don't know that you would ever feel that. And part of that is because we use it to either help formulate organized content, help us organize the content in logical order, and then I'll go back and rewrite it as if I was writing it, but it helps me get started with the content, or help me with trending hashtags, right? So I can write the message, but I need AI to help me make the most of my message by giving me trending hashtags. AI is now information, and the more you can have now information, dependent upon the AI that you use, you want to, if you're looking at trending information, you want to use something like Bard or Perplexity that's now, and not ChatGPT, where it may not have now information in some of the versions, but it can just be leveraged to take your message, organize it appropriately, give you maybe a great subject line that'll get a great response, help you with imagery. I mean, there are so many things that AI can help you do to do it in a shorter period of time. If you think about submittals, submittals is where we have a ton of brand inconsistency in agencies or job descriptions. Ask ChatGPT what a CEO looks like, and there's nary a woman in the mix, right? But if we force AI to remove bias from a job description, because 98% of job description are written with masculine bias, we can force AI to actually help us with those types of things. And so it's just, and then job descriptions take a ton of time. Submittals can take up to 2 hours for a rookie recruiter. And so when we talk about being able to leverage AI to, take things and pinch them down into more, we sell time at the end of the day. And so if we can get more done in a day, that's what AI is for. It's an enablement, not replacement. I'll say it over and over until I die.
Oh, I get it. Well, Lauren, as you're talking, I want to kind of like jump in my seat because I couldn't possibly agree with you more with everything that you're saying. Also, you kind of touched on the fact of we need to teach AI, right? So if there is a gender bias, then it's up to us to be able to, remove that from the mix. So let's talk a little bit about, we talk about gender bias and some of the tools and the technology and encouraging, women to get more and more involved in the technology space. So what are you seeing in that arena? I know this is a subject that we're both passionate about.
Yeah, I mean, we still don't have enough women in this space, right? I think that there's still a part of the reason that we, started ThriveX, right, is so that we could have more female speakers out there in our industry. And what I want more than anything is for women to raise their hand. And we have this whole there are a lot of things I like about hashtag girl boss and I don't think we're at the point where we can say I'm just a boss. Don't call me a girl boss. I think we still need more visibility on that. So if you want to call out girl boss, I'm all about it. What I don't like is girl math. And making us sound dumber than we are around the topic of mathematics or technology, because it's just simply untrue. And so we have to start at home with our young girls, and we need to encourage them to get into STEM and encourage them that they are good at math, because statistically speaking, we are the most educated gender in the United States, and globally, women are more educated, particularly right now. You have more women graduating from college, and we've got over a 10% decline with men participating in the workforce. So, ladies, it's up to us. We need to get involved, and we need to be unafraid of those of raising girls who can code, who are good at math, who are good at science, engineering, etc. Because 2% is not good enough.
Right. Exactly. And it starts, and I'm glad that you said, starting at home and starting at the elementary school level, because that is where it all starts.
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody once challenge me and saying, Anna, what are you going for? Like 50-50, split between men and women in
Yes.
opportunity. And I said, well, I'm going for the equal playing field. Right.
Yes.
And be able to encourage. So if women or men choose not to be in the field, that's because of personal choice, not that there isn't a platform for them to be able to play in.
Right. Or that they've just been told over and over that that's not their thing. I think that's where I get, wound up is when there's just this old point of view, right? This old point of view that girls aren't good at math. And again, it's just simply and statistically, from a mathematical perspective, untrue.
Right. Well, unfortunately, Lauren, I hate to say this, it kind of brings our session to an end.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I know. We could definitely.
I know. Go on forever.
We're gonna have a round two for sure. What power word would you like to leave the audience with?
My word for 2023 was unwavering. And I got to tell you, after Q1 and Q2, I have had to have unwavering strength to get through this year because it has been tough. But I think for the audience, it is perseverance, because if we can persevere through changes like this and start embracing them and start being creative with the way that we can use these and persevere to the North Star. I mean, there's so much that our industry can do, just for the rest of the world. I think we have a ton of opportunity to have influence, and we just need to use our powers for good. So persevere, my friends.
Persevere. Excellent. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Absolutely. Thank you, Anna.
Thanks for joining us on the AI to Z podcast with Anna Frazzetto. If you found value in today's episode, consider following for more insightful STEM discussions. We'll be back with another deep dive. Until then.